Hello, hi. I'm back again with the white vans. Not really. I do want some vans though, now that I mention it. Um, we're gonna do scout rifles this time. These are very easy, very simple, and everybody needs at least one good scout rifle. Um, let's figure out how to make this one quicker than the others just because of how simple this is. Alright, so their main benefits is that they are very safe because they can do a lot of damage from very far away. Um, the high amount of damage does not come from their base damage though. It's just that you're so safe, you don't have to worry about like poking in and out of cover or using anything else to stay out in the open to continue to do damage. So these are some of the best weapons when you're underleveled to be using a scout rifle because you can stay far away and poke them down. It is very awkward to use in some mid-range and all short-range engagements. You're not going to be using a scout rifle effectively in close range, and sometimes even in mid-range, it struggles. Um, your preferred perks in the third column: Overflow, Triple Tap, Fourth Time's the Charm, Rapid Hit. They all basically do the same thing. Overflow for doubling the magazine size when you pick up special or heavy ammo. Triple tap, you get 3 crits, you get 1 bullet back. Fourth time's the charm, you get 4 rapid crits, you get 2 bullets back. And rapid hit per crit, you get more stability. And the important part is the reload speed. So they all do something to help with reload speed to some degree. All of those are good. Reconstruction and reround rounds. These are the raid specific perks that help with magazine uh, capacity. Reconstruction just, well, Reconstruction used to be raid specific, same thing with reround rounds, but they put it on a couple weapons here and there now. But Reconstruction just loads 10% of your magazine into your gun all the time, and it can up to double your gun's magazine size, um, which is nice. And reround rounds is just triple tap or fourth time's the charm, pretty much, but without having to hit crits effectively. It does work slightly different than that, but there's no point in going into it because they equal the same thing. It's just reround rounds. It's easier to pull off because crits aren't required, just hits. Demolitionist, Pugilist, Wellspring, they all do the same thing, just slightly differently. And because you're so safe, it is nice to have a way to regenerate your abilities. Because Demolitionist regenerates your grenade, Pugilist regenerates your melee, and Wellspring regenerates whatever the hell you don't have. Shoot the loot, again, because you're being safe. It's really nice to use utility perks on these types of guns. And shoot the loot is you shoot some ammo, and not only do you pick the ammo up, but it reloads all of your weapons. So very good, very good. Explosive payload and frenzy is the first perks that I would recommend in the fourth column. Explosive payload just gives a constant damage bump, and it also helps with a bunch of other in-game things. So explosive payload is pretty nice. I don't want to get into everything here. Just know that explosive payload has a couple of extra things that it can do on top of the fact that it constantly gives you um, a damage bump to some degree and infinite range on a weapon that already has infinite range, but that's neither here nor there. Frenzy, because Frenzy is just good. Alright, Frenzy gives you all the things that you could ever want, which makes running things like Shoot the Loot or Demolitionist or Pugilist or Wellspring easier because you don't have to worry about reload speed because Frenzy gives reload speed as well. All your elemental perks, because they're all solid here, it doesn't matter which one. Kinetic Tremors, Incandescent, Volt Shot, Stabilizing Rounds, Hatchling, Headstone, all of them are good. Every one of the elemental perks. Um, Swashbuckler, Adrenaline Junkie, Golden Tricorn, all of those perks revolve around your abilities as well. Typically, you will want to be pairing them together with the ability regenerators So if you have Pugilist, which gives you your melee energy back, you probably want to have Swashbuckler. They tie together. Same thing for Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie. And Golden Tricorn really just goes with any of them, including Wellspring, because you'll be getting your ability energy back, and then Golden Tricorn can go to times 10 based off getting a kill and then getting one of those ability kills. I'm sorry, times 2, not times 10. So yeah, all those kind of go together. And then another utility perk and under over. I'm starting to feel like after going over all of these guns, that under over is going to be really, really good, but in specific situations. And anything that's specific utility should be going on guns that are only brought out in like difficult content or content where it's going to be important for you to be able to deal with a bunch of champions. Um, or those situations in particular. I guess a bunch of champions would only apply to like under over, but whatever. Scout rifles are a very good option for under over, in my opinion. Now there are one, two, three, four, five different frames for scout rifles. You have aggressive frames. This is the newest one. They don't have a lot of guns in this archetype. There's two of them. There's one that comes from a dungeon, and there's another one that came last season as the ritual reward. So its perks are set in stone. This one has the lowest range, but it still doesn't even freaking matter. Like all these things have stupid range, like 80 meters, you know. Um, this one also has slightly more damage than the others, although it is more unwieldy. It's harder to use because of the kick. Another thing that's very annoying is it reloads like 2 bullets at a time. Think Ash from Overwatch, but just 2 bullets at a time, which is still very annoying. I need a coffee break. The power of editing. Yeah, that's some good shit. All right, high impact frames. These are the slow fire rate ones. They do the highest amount of damage per bullet. Also, of course, the 80-meter range. They have a slower time to kill because they have a slower RPM, despite the fact that they do a bunch of damage per bullet. They also have very low gun stats just in general. All of their stats are bad except for their range at base. Um, I find it hard to use these anywhere at all ever. My whole thing is that I want one good gun per frame per element, and I still constantly delete these no matter what. I think these need some sort of buff. My guess would be they would need to do more damage, but really I don't know what to do with them. I don't think they're very good. Lightweight frames. These are the quote unquote meta um, scout rifles. They have the best field to damage ratio in my opinion. They do a good amount of damage and they still feel really good to use. Um, Effectively infinite range because I was gonna go with like, oh, it's the 80 meter blah 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 thing that I've been doing with all the rest of these, but 80 meters is basically infinite range. Like you just don't even worry about it. If you're shooting something from more than 80 meters, you can barely see the fucker. Um, it's clunky in close range. It was really hard to find negatives for this gun because it just kind of does what it does very well. Lightweight frames would be the best in my opinion for scout rifles, with a close second being the precision frames. Precision frames have solid overall stats. It's easy to land shots. The real issue with these is because they have slightly less RPM, their TTK is a bit slower, and they don't do a whole bunch of damage compared to like the 150s or the 120s. But getting damage perks help it a lot. My recommendation for 180s would be to skip elemental perks and go for damage. So anything that'll give you a little bit of extra damage will push it to do closer damage to like aggressive frames and higher impacts, making it feel better to use because you won't take as many bullets to kill. Rapid fire frames. This is for people who want a auto rifle but can't use it because it doesn't have enough range. They have high burst damage, so if you just lay down the trigger on one singular target, you can kill them pretty fast. It'll take you a bunch of bullets, but you can spit out a bunch of bullets pretty fast. I didn't put the RPM on this one. I had to check it. Feels better in closer ranges because of the higher rate of fire. Even shooting from the hip feels better. Like I say, just think a long range, slower firing auto rifle. And it has lower handling. This is why I said hip fire. Don't aim down sights in close range with this thing or any scout rifle for that matter, to be honest. Not gonna be a good time. Ooh, it's like magic. 260 RPM. It just popped up randomly. Oh my god. Alright, so that's scout rifles. I'm probably gonna make about two more of these just because they're easy to make and I want to go ahead and get all the primaries done so we can move on to the different weapon types. Um, yeah, let me know if there's any way that I can make this more easy to follow. Um, the idea is that if for some reason you're like, dang, I really don't know what's good on my scout rifle, bam, you have a video for it. And I don't have to explain it every time we get into the game together and you're like, yo, is this gun any good? Just don't have to worry about that. You'll know later.